Sure, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
All right. First of all, good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all. Yes, thank you for that introduction. I'll have to direct message to you afterwards and maybe have a private meeting. We just need to clarify a few things. But it is Sabbath after all, so we'll let that go till Monday. Anyway, yes, we used to worship in the Nazarene building. We rented a church building from them. And it was a very nice setup that we had over there. They unfortunately decided to start a school for their scholars in the building, and the classes were being held on a Saturday, so we had to find alternative arrangements. We looked for suitable venues, but we kept coming up against a brick wall. Long story short, we managed to find a property. We converted a double garage. What was the dimensions? It was your standard, double garage, but then they lengthened it by 10 meters, 5 on either side. And that was now converted to a chapel. And the church really got together and painted and furnished and really made it a nice venue to worship in. It's got seating for about 120 if you want to be a sardine. Otherwise, 80 people quite comfortably. And like I say, it's still relatively new. We're enjoying it, but then COVID hit, and we, like everybody else, had to close. And for the foreseeable future, we're still going to remain closed. So like everybody else, we're waiting to see what happens. How's that for an intro, Frank? Happy with that?
That's fine. They happen to be in Port Elizabeth. It's was known as the South Hills Church, isn't it?
Yeah, look, we kept the name. It's now called the South Hills Guinea Fowl Chapel. The property is situated on the Guinea Fowl kind of nature reserve that runs through PE, the belt that runs through PE. So kind of to keep the name and what people know, we kept the South Hills name and then just added the Guinea Fowl Chapel for its location. And as Frank said, it's in PE, the Windy City. Cold city of the last week, but as things stand, it's very enjoyable. I think Frank and Lynette have been with us. They visited in the chapel, and I think they had a good time. So it's always nice to see new faces there. We're very small, but we hope to be growing soon.
If Kenny and that isn't going to do it this evening, I'll put it on the site. They do a little thing for the kids' stories, and it's quite cute. Are you sharing any of that tonight?
I wasn't planning on doing it. Basically, what we've done, Shireen is the head of the children's ministries here by us. And we started off with one child, being our own child. And our maximum number we've grown to, was 9 children. So it's a ministry that is growing. And what we've decided to do, obviously, because of the lockdown, is we've started a YouTube channel, the Guinea Fowl Church. I can put a link up to it later. And we are posting puppet shows and Bible stories and all this kind of stuff for the kiddies. And we've just finished the Children's Week of Prayer. Last week, we were the final church in our district to post something for the Sabbath Divine Service. It was about a 29-minute long program that we put out, and it was well received. The kids had a fantastic time doing it, and it's basically just an outreach that we're starting to try and grow the church, to try and get more young people in. On the channel itself, we're going to be hosting other seminars. We're going to host a creation evolution seminar. There's going to be a panel discussion coming up. So there's some interesting things on the cards.
It might be an idea, if it's not going to disrupt your program, to just show how you do the introduction with your puppets. Kenny, his wife, and which is my daughter, and their daughter put up a program, Little Scarlet, and it's quite cute.
Okay, let me see if I can get it. Just bear with me a second.
Do you want a special item while we wait?
Yeah, sure. Sure, carry
right.
on. Mock me.
A Sabbath Friday evening for me is the welcoming of a Sabbath, and I love different things on a Friday evening, and that's why I asked Kenny to get involved with us. So I said to him, it would be nice if we could see the puppet thing just to show you how they introduce their children's church.
Okay,
you got it?
I think I've got something here. Let me just see if I can do this. Let's see quickly. Can you folks see that?
It's a nose of an elephant.
These are the characters that we use.
Oh, Kenny, it's not coming up on the screen.
Aren't you seeing anything?
No, we're just seeing the nose of the elephant.
Okay.
If it's not going to work, that's fine.
Okay, well, I can put a link up afterwards. It's fine.
All right. So I'll say thanks for coming, Kenny. Thanks for putting the time aside. And we hope you folks enjoy Kenny's program.
Okay, so let me make sure that I can get everything here. Let's just have a look, see. Okay, anyway, we'll get to that. Okay, good evening, everyone. Like I said, some of you know me, some of you don't know me. I am Frank's son-in-law. It's a privilege, or dare I say, an honor to be associated with him sometimes. And but I try to portray my enthusiasm and respect for him at every opportunity I get by public displays of affection, to which he speaks German at me, but we won't repeat what he says because apparently it's not so kosher. Anyway, like Frank has said, I'm married to his daughter Shireen. We live in PE, and we have a 6-year-old little daughter with us. Her name is Scarlett. I think I actually have a pic here that I wanted to try and share with you, which has just gone away now. Give me 1 second and I'll find it. That's that one. Let's see if you can see it now. There we go. Can we see that? Okay, that's Shireen, my wife, and Scarlett. This was taken on a Valentine's. They were my 2 dates. I was obviously the envy of everybody in the restaurant. Scarlett is 6 and Shireen's 22. And yeah, I'm a happy man, as you can see. When Frank asked me to open the Sabbath program, I thought long and hard of, what I can say. We've looked at a few of your programs, and you guys have had some fantastic speakers. So the bar has been set very high. I am, just as a side note, testing some new equipment here while we are doing this. I just want to make sure you can all hear me fine before I carry on. Okay, good. Yeah, we've kind of taken this role over at our church also, and it's fallen on me. So I purchased a whole bunch of equipment this past week, and you guys are the guinea pigs. So I'm glad it's working well so far. I thought to take a topic tonight, really that's as old as the hills, but focus on a different aspect. I think it's something that's been overlooked a lot. And even so, in our current climate that we find ourselves in, I think it's even more pertinent to actually have a look at it. So with that said, let's see if I can open our meeting with a Bible verse. You can all see that, yeah? I've chosen Matthew 11:28, and it's, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden and burdened, and I will give you rest." This is a very familiar passage. I'm sure most of us know that passage. We've all grown up hearing this verse repeated in church. But have we actually stopped to listen and think about what this verse is really saying to us. The Lord is beckoning us to come unto him, to come to him with our problems, to come to him with our worries and our doubts. It's only through coming to him and laying all at his feet that we are able to face every day in this uncertain world that we currently live in. I'm going to take a different tack, though, tonight and focus on one single word in this passage, and that word is rest. In today's world, is there really place for rest? Is there time for rest? Is rest really that important? We've all heard the statement, time is money. So to take that at face value, is there really time, and can we afford to rest? For those of you that don't know me that well, my father is a dermatologist here in Port Elizabeth. So growing up in this house, there's always been a medical slant to everything I've taught and learned through my life. So by taking our opening Bible verse and focusing on the word rest, I've outlined 10 points that I just want to draw your attention to me, which highlights the importance of that word. We are literally scraping the top of a mountain by touching on these 10 points. But Frank only asked me to do the Sabbath opening and not a 30-day series on rest. So I'll try and keep it short and sweet. All right. I've called our presentation tonight, 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, sleep. All right. My screen is a bit cut off, so I'm hoping you folk can all see the full screen. I'm seeing bits and pieces and everybody around. I'm still new to this whole Zoom platform, so bear with me. Okay, so that's the title. So you can guess I'm talking about sleep and rest. Now, your body pretty much has a 24-hour repeating rhythm, and that's called the circadian rhythm. Now, this rhythm is made up of 2 processes. The first one is the pressure to sleep, and the second one is your internal body clock. I just want to try something here quickly. There we go. You folk are all over my screen now. I can see you and my work. Right. These 2 systems, they work hand in hand, and they control what we call the 24-hour circadian rhythm. This one has moved off. In the first cycle, the pressure to sleep cycle, this pressure builds up every hour that you are awake. This continues throughout the day with a compound called adenosine. Now, this continually builds up in your brain the whole day. Its levels continually rising. As we said, when you sleep, the body breaks down this compound, all right? Your internal body clock, that is in sync with your environment, and there's mainly 2 key factors that play a role here, and those are light and darkness. During the day, also, your body releases other chemicals. The one that I want to talk about now is the melatonin compound. And this basically prepares your body for sleep. It helps you feel drowsy. As soon as it starts to get dark, your body starts releasing melatonin, and you start getting that relaxed feeling, and it's time for bed. Like I said, it's a chemical that causes you to feel drowsy. There's a point where the melatonin peaks in your system, and this is the optimum time to go to bed. Generally, if you push through this time, and I'm guilty of that, Shireen will tell you, you kind of get what they call your second wind. And then that's when you stay awake till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and you pay the price the next morning. So ideally, you want to kind of go to bed at the peak of this melatonin level in your body. You often hear people say, don't look at bright lights at night. This disrupts this whole process. The melatonin buildup basically counters what your brain is saying, that it's actually daytime. So there's this confusion that happens. Anything from bright TV screens, PCs, tablets, even a bright alarm clock, they can all cause havoc with this level. And my father, being a doctor, is an incredibly bad example of this. He sleeps on average 3 to 4 hours a night, and he still lies in bed, but he's always got his tablet with him. He says he's catching up on his reading. So yeah, it's not really a good example. The next chemical is cortisol, and this is the converse. This is released by the body in order to wake up. All right, so the melatonin puts you to sleep, and the cortisol, that one wakes you up. So you must ask yourself, is sleep really important? Do I need to sleep? You've often heard people say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Now, if you're not careful, that will happen. All right. People just don't realize how important sleep is. Sleep plays a vital role in good health and well-being throughout your life. While you are sleeping, your body is working hard to repair brain function that has happened during the day. It maintains your physical health. A lot of the time, how you feel and how you cope during the day is directly proportional to how you slept the night before. Getting good sleep, as you see there, at the right times can protect your mental health, physical health, and quality of life and safety. Now, you wonder about safety. Well, damage from sleep deficiency can harm you over time or instantly, as in having a car crash. Sleep can also affect how well you think, react, work, learn, and get along with others. So that as a background as to why I think sleep and rest is important, 10 points that I've highlighted that I just want to bring to your attention. The first being, poor sleep is linked to higher body weight. When I was doing some research for this, I was actually surprised to see how closely sleep is tied in with every aspect of our life. I personally attribute certain items to other factors, but having looked at sleep and what its requirements are and what its benefits are to your body, it's forced me to kind of reevaluate my thought patterns and think maybe sleep is the key factor. I used to sleep very well when I was younger. Not so much now. I attribute it to having a 6-year-old that keeps coming to the room. But even on days when we do sleep, right through, Shrina and myself, we find ourselves tired in the morning. It's the quality of sleep that we are getting. Through scientific studies, poor sleep is strongly linked to weight gain. Short sleep duration is one of the strongest risks of obesity, which is definitely a scourge that's plaguing our country. This was a very interesting fact. They did a survey and they found that children and adults with short sleep duration were respectively 89% and 55% more likely to develop obesity. I mean, those are scary figures. Children and adults, 89 and 55% respectively, to develop obesity. So if you're trying to lose weight, good quality sleep is the answer. So my second point, good sleepers tend to eat fewer calories. And this can sometimes be a tender point with folks. We all love our food. I myself fall into this category. My wife makes phenomenal food, and I'm sure she's going to hit me soon. I see she's smiling at me. It's not because of her cooking that I've had to buy larger waist trousers. It's bad habits, working harder, not exercising enough, and not sleeping enough. So, yeah, sleep deprived individuals have bigger appetites and tend to eat more calories. Sleep deprivation disrupts appetite hormones, which are vital to the effective running of our body. And it's also the cause of poor appetite regulation. And there's two main compounds that are affected. The sleep deprivation increases levels of ghrelin, which stimulates your appetite, and at the same time reduces levels of leptin, which suppresses your appetite. So you can see it's a vicious circle. The next point, good sleep can improve concentration and productivity. Sleep is important, as we said, for various aspects of brain function, not just during the day, but at night. The sleep repairs the brain, neutralizes the brain, it gets it ready for the new day, reboots it. So yes, very important. Like we see there, it will include cognition, concentration, productivity, and performance of our daily tasks. So if you ask yourself, how important is good sleep? Not just sleeping, but you need good sleep. This scared me a little bit. They did a survey and they found that interns on a traditional schedule with extended work hours of more than 24 hours, now listen, made 36% more serious medical errors than interns on a schedule that allowed more sleep. So these are people that are looking after you in hospital. They are overworked and they are making 36% more errors. That kind of makes you sit up in your chair and pay attention to what you're reading. There's another one that came across that also shocked me, and it has been proven that sleep depravity can negatively impact aspects of brain function to a similar degree as alcohol intoxication. Those two I put in red because they really kind of woke me up. The fourth one, good sleep can maximize athletic performance. Don't use drugs, just sleep. You know, it's so simple, so it can't work, but it does. That's just it. Good sleep is all that you need. Athletes that have good sleep patterns have significantly improved speed, accuracy, reaction times, and mental well-being. They did a case study of 2,800 women and found that they exhibited poor sleep was linked to their slower walking habits, lower grip strength, greater difficulty performing independent activities. And this is all just because of poor sleep in an athletic background. Number 5, the risk of heart disease and stroke. Sleep quality and duration have major effects on many health risk factors. We're getting into some of the more meaty and dangerous sides of our body and sleep. Many risk factors are increased purely due to the lack of sleep and, more importantly, the quality of your sleep. Heart disease is adversely affected by poor quality sleep. It was always thought just to be a genetic predisposition, but it's not. Sleep can actively affect heart disease. A review of 15 studies found that people who do not get enough sleep are at a far greater risk of heart disease and or stroke than those who sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. I mean, that's scary, and that's just from sleeping. That's not dietary, exercise, none of those factors. This is just sleep. Number 6, this also caught me a bit off guard. Sleep affects glucose metabolism and type 2 diabetes. Now you ask yourself, diabetes and sleep? Really? That's what I did. I couldn't believe it. But a study has shown that sleep restriction affects blood sugar and reduces insulin sensitivity. Healthy young men were restricted to 4 hours of sleep per night for 6 nights in a row, and they all exhibited symptoms of pre-diabetes. These are healthy men, no history of diabetes. Just because of a lack of sleep, they all exhibited symptoms of pre-diabetes. Actually, these symptoms were all resolved after 1 week of increased sleep. So, studies have shown that sleeping less than 6 hours per night would drastically increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. Number 7, poor sleep is linked to depression. Depression, like obesity, another scourge that ravages our nation. It has been found to be strongly linked to poor sleep and other sleeping disorders. 90% of people with depression complain about poor sleep quality. And you'll notice one word that keeps coming up here. It's not quantity of sleep, it's the quality of sleep. People talk about a sleep deficit. You know, I'm going to go sleep for 2 weeks after this job is over or whatever it is. You can sleep for a year, makes no difference. It's the quality of sleep that you are getting. That is the key factor. And of course, poor sleep is also strongly associated with suicide, which is obviously very, very sad. Sleeping disorders like insomnia or obstructive sleep apnea also report significantly higher rates of depression than those without. Number 8, believe it or not, sleep improves your immune system. This I found actually quite interesting. Studies have shown that even a small loss of sleep can show major impairment in the immune system. They did a case study. It lasted 2 weeks. The catalyst was nasal drops laced with the cold virus. So they got a group of people together over a 2-week period, and they used nasal drops that were laced with the cold virus. They found that those who slept less than 7 hours were almost 3 times more likely to develop a cold than those who slept 8 hours or more. Do you get that? Healthy people, right, split into 2 groups. Those who slept less than 7 hours were 3 times more likely to get a cold just because of lack of sleep than those who slept 8 hours or more. So it's simple. Stay in bed when you have a cold. It's factual. It helps. It will make you better. It just as a side note, people have, I grew up with it as well, and it's still rampant today, the vitamin C. Have lots of vitamin C, have lots of vitamin C. The tests have been done. It is medically proven that in order for you to basically combat your flu symptom by taking vitamin C, the quantity required would actually kill you. So the quantity of vitamin C you'd have to consume to curb your flu symptom would actually kill you. So a large portion of that vitamin C is a placebo effect. It has definitely got benefits. It definitely has, but it's not the only thing that's going to make you better. So just something to keep in mind. Number 9, poor sleep is linked to increased inflammation. Sleep loss is also known to activate undesirable markers of inflammation and cell damage in the human body. Poor sleep is also linked to long-term inflammation of the digestive tract. Now, inflammatory bowel disease is linked directly to poor sleep. And an interesting study was done, and they found that sleep-deprived people with Crohn's disease are twice as likely to relapse as opposed to people who sleep well. Simple thing like sleep, not medication, nothing of the sort, just sleep. Proper quality sleep is all that was needed. And the final thing, final point, sleep affects emotions and social interactions. Now, I have a warped sense of humor, as those around me will tell you. So I had to work quite hard to keep this in line, for a Friday night Sabbath opening, because there's lots of potential for me to veer off track here. Sleep loss reduces your ability to interact socially. You might ask yourself how. It was found that sleep-deprived patients, they consistently fail facial recognition tests. They demonstrate an inability to recognize expressions of anger and happiness. Now, right there, I can go on a tangent and get into all sorts of trouble, but I'm trying my best just to stick to what's on the screen. Shireen's also nudging me here. I'm trying my best. They keep failing to recognize anger and happiness. So what's the bottom line of these 10 points? The bottom line is simple. Along with nutrition, exercise, good sleep is a key element of good health. You simply cannot achieve optimal health without taking care of your sleep. So let me stop my screen share. Right, we can all see me, yes, still? Okay, good. So in closing, I just want to draw your attention back to that verse that we read, and how it highlights, we need to come to the Lord. He will give us rest. We must place our burdens at his feet. I think the Lord, he knew we would not cope, and we were not designed to run 24/7 without sleep. In the light of all that's happening in the world around us, not even taking COVID-19 into consideration, how important is sleep really to us? Can we really afford not to rest as the Lord has asked us to? We are finding more and more young people are burning themselves out. Our suicide rates are climbing. Family bonds are breaking. And all because we don't take the advice of the one who has gone before us. Rest seems to be such a simple thing, so can it really be that necessary? In a single word, I say yes. We need rest, just as we need to eat and breathe. Rest not only rejuvenates our body, mind, and soul, but it affords us time away from the hustle and bustle of this world and allows us to reconnect with our families, and more importantly, to reconnect with the God that gave his only Son so that we might not perish but have eternal life. So folks, have a good night's rest. Thank you.